This week, I would like for you to join me at the table as we talk about Take a Bite. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to listen to a minister, and as she was ministering, she gave everyone an apple, and she told everyone to take a bite of that apple. And then she went around the room and held up different apples and said, I didn't tell you but one bite. That's all I asked you to do, is to take one bite. That bite was up to you on what you took. And she went around and she showed the size of the bite that each person took. And so then she talked about how we have faith. Every born again believer has faith. And the way that we operate our faith, the way that we grow in our faith, is we take a bite. And so I love that illustration. You, me, we have faith. Faith comes, as Romans 10:17 says, faith comes from hearing, and hearing through the Word of God. After she gave a couple examples of bites, she asked, did anyone put the whole apple in your mouth? She looked around, she couldn't find anyone. She was illustrating that faith is not just one huge bite and that is it. She was illustrating that this apple that she had, you take a bite. If you want more of that apple, you take another bite. If you want more of it, you keep taking a bite. That's how faith comes. You keep taking a bite. If I had an apple and I said, this is the goodness of God, take a bite. You have to be the one that takes a bite. I can encourage you. I can tell you about the goodness of God, but until you take a bite, it's not going to do anything for you. Well, I don't like apples. Okay, well, what is it? If it is, man, I have to walk from the couch to the refrigerator because I'm thirsty, you're going to have to stand up and take a step. I can't make you take that step. You have to take that step. That is what this example is of. Maybe you like pie, and the goodness of God is in that pie. But until you take a bite, you're not going to experience the goodness of God. Until you take a step in faith, you're not going to experience the goodness of God. So many times, and I know I've been in this place. That's why I want to encourage you with this. I was listening to it and I kind of was like, yeah, that's kind of where I feel like I am right now. Is I know there's faith. And I know I have faith because I read the Word of God. I know God. I read His Word and it gets me excited. And I hear His Word and it gets me excited. But sometimes I think, is my faith working? Do I have enough faith to do this? Do I have enough faith to do that? And she was encouraging, you have faith and your faith works, but you have to work it. You have to work it. You've been given the measure of faith. Now work it. How do I work my faith? I take a step. I take a bite. I do something. Because we know the Word of God says, faith without action is dead. So if I had this apple and I did nothing with it, what's going to happen? It's going to rot. It's going to get smushy. It's going to get, like I said, rotten, that it'll have to be thrown away. What about that pie? That cake? What if I was really thirsty and I had a bottle of water and I needed it because I, had done some work and I really needed that bottle of water. I was thirsty. I'm dehydrated. But until I open the lid and take a drink, it's doing nothing for me. I want you to understand this too. It was such a simple illustration, but it meant so much to me. And I want to encourage you, because that's what these table talks are for. That's what they're about. They're about God meeting us where we are. He encourages me, and He wants me to use what He's encouraged me with to encourage other people. So think about it. As we go through this holiday season, as we prepare for the new year, don't let your faith go unused. Take that step. Faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the Word of God. Maybe it's, I'm going to take a step in reading my Bible more. Maybe it's, I'm going to take a step or a bite of praying more, listening to Christian music, getting in the presence of God. Maybe it's, I'm going to take a step of loving more. Whatever it is, take a bite. You have faith, and your faith works, but you have to work it. So take a bite.